variety of science classes available at Geneva provides something for everyone. Viticulture, botany, physics, meteorology, any type of science you're interested in is really available at Geneva for you to explore. There are so many opportunities to do an internship or job shadow around town that can be arranged through our school. You don't need to go to Geneva, Switzerland or the Silicon Valley to find great scientific advances. You can just go right down the road. We asked scientists around Geneva 3 different questions. First, how did you get interested in science?
So I guess I became interested in science when I was very young because I grew up in an environment where there was very few trees, water, grass hardly, and all the rest of sort of stuff. And so you begin to have very few things to actually focus on, and so you begin to pay attention very closely to the things that you do have. And so I was always interested in birds and plants and all of those sorts of things, and then discovered that I come from a long family of engineers. So my father was an engineer, all my brothers are engineers, and so following in their footsteps, I decided I'd be a little bit different, but I became also interested in all the machines and electronics and all of those kind of things. So, and I followed that through ever since.
So I got interested in science as a career when I was in middle school. My dad bought us a model rocket kit, and we also became amateur radio operators. And what this all meant was when I went to school, I couldn't talk about any of that. I would go to school and talk about how I love playing soccer, how I play basketball. I ran track, and I could talk about all those things, but I felt like I couldn't talk about being a science geek because it wasn't cool. And yet now I am own my own business, have a very successful career, and none of those things really came from soccer or basketball. They came from the amateur radio equipment, which I look back on now and I wonder why I was ashamed. I kind of want to go back then and kick myself in the butt and say, don't be a wimp, just tell people who you are. But that was the stuff that I loved, and that's how I got interested in this field that is really changing the world now.
I got interested in science as a very young child. My claim to fame, I guess, with interest to science would be that I was a subscriber to Popular Science from the time I was 11 or 12 years old. Still currently a subscriber. Loved it all through high school. Was good at it. I guess that was one thing that got me interested in furthering my career. And when I decided to go to college, I looked to see where I could make money, and saw that chemical engineering was actually a really good field if you want to make money. So I was good in math and science, so I decided to do that. And I've had several careers in math and science, and I love the one I'm doing right now, taking the science of growing grapes, which is viticulture, and further enhancing the product that we get from that and making wine.
What do you like most about your job?
So the best thing I think about my job is actually working with the undergraduate students. The reason I actually went on for a PhD is so that I could teach at a small liberal arts college in upstate New York. When I was applying for graduate work, I put that in my application. So part of the description that I had put in was, all right, my ultimate goal is to wind up in a place just like this, to be able to work with students on research and other things. So every summer I make sure that I can do that. I offer research opportunities for our undergraduate students, several every summer, to be able to study this place.
As a clinical leader or nursing supervisor, as many people know it, I enjoy interacting with patients and families from all of the units in the hospital, as well as many departments. I don't have one unit that I respond to. I respond to all of the units to make sure everything is going smoothly and any issues are taken care of. Patients are safe and everyone's happy.
So I'm a plant pathologist, which means that I study diseases of plants, and specifically I study diseases of vegetables. So my job is to help the vegetable growers in the state of New York keep their vegetables really healthy.
How does your science impact the Geneva community?
Okay, as far as the community, I'm out in the community quite a bit. A lot of us work the fish derby, and we see a lot of kids in a different angle down there. We always plant flowers down to St. Peter's Church, and we take as many students as will go with us. And even on the school grounds, the environmental botany class has planted a sugar maple tree this year. We have been enjoying our tulip bulbs that we planted last year, and we plant a class vegetable garden out back so that students can then go to their homes and plant their own food.
Our job impacts the community in several ways. 70% of diagnoses are made by our values that we test on all our instruments in the lab. And we perform over 1 million tests here at Geneva General Hospital. So every single day patients come from doctor's office, oncology patients, OBGYNs, inpatients, the ER. Every single person in this community is affected by our work that we do here, and we serve the community.